Thank you, Sean. Thank you for everyone at Icon Coaching.
Simon, congratulations, man. You know what that is?
That's winning.
It's winning, baby. I love it when you're winning. That's fantastic.
I got 2 under contract, so that's like 2.8 million in 2 weeks.
You've got to take control of your production to make sure that you're making more money, your bank account balance is rising, that your net worth is increasing, and that's what we want to see happen.
So that they can save the listing.
Which I'm really, really thankful for, Sean. Thank you.
See everyone coming on board. Welcome to Icon Coaching's webinar.
Welcome, everybody, to the Icon Coaching webinar. I'm so glad to see some familiar faces. I see Scott. Welcome. How you doing, Scott? And you are crushing, dude. Wait, tell me, where are you located at?
San Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas. I love it. Guys, he's got over 1,000 past clients. And guess what? He's showing up to learn how to communicate with this sphere of influence like all of us. No doubt about that. I'm so grateful you're here, Scott. Sean Policino, I see he's there, but I see an empty chair. I'm sure he's coming right back. Michelle, welcome. Ken, we've got just a few people today, which is kind of fascinating to me, no doubt about that. Yet you showed up today because you're wanting to really dial in your sphere of influence. And by the way, I think you're really smart to do that in today's environment. The defining business challenge for the next 5 years is going to be artificial intelligence. These LLM models that are literally disrupting everything in our worlds. I think mortgage loan originators, if we have any LOs on this call, you're kind of on a bubble right now. They're focusing on increasing efficiency across the board and reducing expenses. That economic model is changing. It's shifting dramatically. Now, real estate sales, this always has been, it always will be a relationship-driven business. And I think you showed up today because you agree with me. See, every channel is being flooded with all kinds of noise, you guys, thanks to AI. And we're conditioning ourselves through this process to literally ignore any messaging that comes from somebody or something that we don't already know, like, or trust, unless it's maybe referred to us or something like that. Yet, I don't know about you and your email inbox, you guys, it is a challenge to break through that noise and get the eyeballs, get the attention, the rapt attention of anybody who's reading your email. So what cuts through all of that noise? It's relationships. And you guys get that. In fact, we wrote a program called Built. Some of you have been through Built already as our Founders Club. We just graduated last week and we're planning another launch. I want you to write this date down. This is a very important date. It's May 20th. May 20th, we're launching Built again, which is a 6-step formula. It's a system. It's not a training program. It's not a coaching program, even though there's a lot of training and coaching that goes along with this. It is an installation system. And we learned a lot the first cohort that we took through this system. And man, the second time around, it's going to be 10 times better. The third time is probably going to be 10 times better as well. Yet, I encourage you to go to installbuilt.com. Just go ahead and put your email address there. Get on the wait list or the notification list to be invited to the free first session. Yet again, big date coming up, you guys, May 20th. The goal of Built is to obtain the 12-to-2 ratio. Now, Dunbar is a psychologist who's done a lot of research around how many relationships you can effectively manage. And Dunbar will tell you that it's 150. However, Dunbar self-admits that with the right technology, you can kick those numbers up to 500, 700, 750. Manage those relationships effectively to obtain the 12-to-2 ratio. Now, 12-to-2 ratio, let's talk about the numbers. And if an agent can build their sphere of influence and past client list to 200 people, if you do the math on that, that is 34 transactions just already in play per year. Now, when you communicate aggressively and appropriately with your sphere of influence past clients, sending the right message at the right time to the right person, guys, you will actually exceed the 12-to-2 ratio. Let me tell you where the 12-to-2 came from. When we were doing the rewrite of The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, you guys know the Red Book, written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. I was president of Keller Williams MAPS Coaching and MAPS Business Training at the time, and we decided to do the update, the rewrite, because let's face it, when that book was written, direct messages really didn't exist. Ringless voicemail wasn't. Yeah, thank you for that. You just showed us a cover of the book there, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, the Red Book. And, DMs didn't exist. Ringless voicemail drop did not exist. Text message broadcast was just coming online. So Gary Keller, who's incredibly intelligent, nothing against Gary, he came up with the 12-to-2 ratio based on a 33 touch system where you systematically communicate with your sphere of influence of past clients to obtain the 12-to-2 ratio. Now, in the rewrite in 2016, I was able to get into the millionaire real estate agents that we interviewed that are highlighted in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent book. I was able to look at all of their communication campaigns, their automations, the flavor of the text messages, the emails, the messages, the personal phone calls, the frequency, the consistency around not only frequency, but also look and feel. That's very important. There's a psychological disconnect if your branding is off. So I was able to study all of that and I learned a thing or two. I then reached out to Dan Stewart about 6 months ago in total frustration. Okay, have you ever attempted to teach somebody something and it's just not working? Have you ever been frustrated by something like that? Because I got to tell you, I was at my wit's end. Seriously, I've been coaching agents for the last 3 decades on how to nurture their sphere of influence to obtain the 12-to-2 ratio. And while we would go through it on our coaching sessions and we would go through it step by step in the installation process, the challenge is that sadly, it never got all the way across the goal line. While parts and pieces were installed and deployed, and yes, they found traction, it wasn't 100%. It was maybe 60%, maximum 70%. They were frustrated. I was frustrated. And they were frustrated because they were putting up with it. How many of you guys are putting up with that big old dirty pile of dishes in the sink that is just built up and built up and built up? What I'm referencing is your messy database. Can anybody relate to a messy database? Yeah, I know the feeling. We just keep putting stuff in there. And sadly, we don't have a tagging system, or maybe we try to put in a tagging system, but now I've got 6,000 people in my database. How on earth am I going to go through 6,000 contract records, really organize this, and really communicate with it aggressively? Now, I'm talking about mistakes that we make, even though they're unintended mistakes. They're mistakes nevertheless. Meaning, if I'm your friend, if I'm in your sphere of influence and I got an email from you, guess what? I'm kind of excited because you're my friend. Now, if I open that email and it's some drip campaign that is just a generalist type email, symmetric type communication that doesn't require any kind of response, well, number one, I'm kind of annoyed because of what's going on with AI and LLM models. The content is being created at a rapid rate, and it's far too much for me to ingest. So I get into elimination mode. I start eliminating things from my email inbox at a rapid rate, and I'm setting up rules so that that email doesn't make it into my inbox to decrease my efficiency. So even though we're friends and I was excited to get the first email, when I opened it, all of a sudden that excitement left my body altogether. I delete your email. Then I'm going to go set a rule so that it goes right into my spam in the future because I don't want to be bogged down. You guys with me on this? Now, many of you are sending out like e-newsletters that are highly informative. I encourage you to keep doing that, yet I want you to take the extra step. I mean, if you choose to be extraordinary, just recognize it just requires a little extra. That's it. So you send an e-newsletter, gives them the average list price to sales price ratio, average days on market, median price point in your market area, your prediction of where the market is headed, what's going on with the interest rates, by the way. If you tell me everything, there's no need for a conversation. What we want is unresolved curiosity. I want you to write that down. Unresolved curiosity is what's going to make your phone ring. See, what we get to do in real estate is we get to nurture relationships, and we do that aggressively. We achieve the 12-to-2 ratio, and our business goes on autopilot. I want that for each and every one of you, and I have a sense that you want that too. So it starts with the organization of your sphere of influence and your past client list. I'm going to post to the chat just a worksheet for all of you. I didn't intend to do this, so I wasn't really prepared to do it. So bear with me as I click through my hard drive and find this document that I'm really excited to share with you guys. Yet, before we jump into that document, does anybody have any questions so far? Any concerns? Any topics you want me to weave into today's lesson? Any thoughts there? All right, since I found silence, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump into this document. I want to share it with you guys just real quick. And hold on 1 second more. Because it's taking too long, I'm just going to wait for a better spot to do this in the presentation. I don't want to waste your time. I have a great deal of respect for your investment of time, guys. I don't take it lightly. So I'm going to shift gears, and we're going to come back to this document in just a moment. Yet, one of the things that concerns me is that we are in an industry, you guys, that creates more multimillionaires than any other industry in the history of industries. Okay. And yet, while we stand at the shores of the ocean of prosperity, it's challenging that we can't even seem to get wet. Let me share my screen and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. The churn rate in real estate. I want to talk about this for a moment. 80% of new licensees exit this industry within the first 12 months. Now, if we take that timeline and expand it out to 5 years, our entire industry churn rate is 87% churn over a 5-year period. So 100 people get licensed today. Guys, there's only 13 left in 5 years' time. Now, I have a sense that you want to be one of those 13 people that remain and making plenty of money getting your unfair share of the market. So there's a challenge here from training to implementation. And I believe that our program called Built is the answer. It is a 6-week program where the first 2 sessions are really about equipping you to communicate with your sphere of influence aggressively, with the right voice, with the right messaging. The 3rd session, we have cleaned and scrubbed your data, and we've uploaded it to a new platform called Built. This is a bolt-on to your CRM. This has all the communications, all the emails, the ringless voicemail drop system, the text message system that are self-send directly from your cell phone, your mobile phone number. So when it's sent from your mobile and they respond, it comes directly back to your mobile. Yet the system enables you to do this at a very rapid rate. It's almost like text broadcast, but they are literally sent one at a time from your mobile device and you are in total control. So I go into the Built platform. I identify the text I want to send to my sphere of influence. I can customize it. Then I tag my sphere of influence. The system generates a text to my mobile device. When I get that text, I click the link, and then it opens up my entire list of sphere of influence past clients, one at a time, one name per row, with 2 little buttons next to the name that says send or skip. So I'm not going to send 200 all at once because I can't deal with the backflow of that, right? They're going to text back, and I want to be able to stay on top of things. So I'm going to send, say, 5 texts at a time. Then I'm going to wait for the response because these texts that we write are specifically designed to create engagement, to create a conversation. And I think that's important, you guys, because you think about the relationship-driven business of real estate sales. You think about the relationships that you have. Where do those relationships live? What do you think, Scott? Where does a relationship live?
It should live in your database, but it's with you, unfortunately.
So yes, many of you are thinking, but the relationship lives in the database. I track the relationship in the database. And yes, you should do that. There's no doubt about that. Yet, if you really think about where the relationship lives, it lives in a conversation. And it's one conversation at a time. And that conversation, while no one single conversation has a guarantee to change the trajectory of somebody's life, any conversation can. And yet, many of us, realtors, I'm talking to you, many of you are terrified to call your past clients, your sphere of influence, because you're prejudging the situation. Am I right? See, I want to introduce you to somebody that showed up to our call today that I asked not to be here, and he shows up everywhere I go. His name is Mick. It's M-I-C. It's an acronym. It stands for My Inner Cynic, and we all have one. It's this voice inside your head that tells you, oh, don't call that past client because you'll just be bothering them. And we prejudge the situation. Am I right? We prejudge the situation. We fail to make the call, and then 2 or 3 months later, you drive through the neighborhood, and guess what? You see somebody else's for sale sign in your past client's front yard. You guys, that is a gut-wrenching feeling that I don't want anybody to experience. That is a terrible feeling. It makes you feel like, man, did I do something wrong? I must have upset them. Well, here's the challenge. You ignored them, and you orphaned them. And here comes a foster parent ready to pick them up and care for them because you failed to communicate with them. Ouch. And it's not your fault. Let's just blame Mick. Can we do that, you guys? Because Mick put the idea in your head that maybe you shouldn't contact them because you'll just be bothering them. Or others say, I don't like calling my past clients because, man, they just talk forever and it just bogs me down. I mean, it's a 25-minute conversation every time I get them on the phone. What? Guys, have the 20-minute conversation. I'm telling you, they have the conversation. They want the duration with you because they care about you. And because they care about you, they want you to succeed. Now, I want to shift gears a little bit. I want to talk about asking for referrals. Now, the way I was trained to do it, and in turn turned around and trained others to do it, frankly was a mistake. So if I did that with you and I told you to ask for a referral in every conversation, please forgive me. I realize that is, I now realize, let's just say that is a mistake. When we ask for a referral without a good reason for asking, guys, what we're really conveying to our sphere of influence is I'm needy, I'm not making enough money, I suck at real estate, and I need your help. That's essentially how it comes across to them. So if you're going to ask, have a good reason to ask. Like, for example, in the Built program, I provide a script that encourages you to ask for referrals. Yet we give you a powerful reason to ask for the referrals, meaning, and many of you might want to implement and deploy this right now. In fact, I've taught this script to 700,000 realtors worldwide through a training program that we wrote called Bold for Keller Williams. And live environment, and Scott, I know you'd been there. Sean, I know you've been in Bold multiple times, both of you guys, multiple time graduates. I think, Scott, you took it 8 times, 7 times, 8 times, something like that. 7, attaboy. Sean, I don't know about you, how many times you took it, but the bottom line is that every time you took it because it got you into action. No doubt about that. And that action produces a result. And in Bold, we were achieving 14.2 contracts signed in 7 weeks, which is not terrible considering the average agent in the US today closes an average of 7.1 transactions per year. We were having a good couple of years inside of 6 weeks, right? Built is no different, by the way, because Built is designed to help you create more and more conversations. Now, many of you want more appointments. Am I right? Well, in order to create more appointments, and I want to make this as simple as I possibly can, we just need to create more conversations. And yet we haven't been trained necessarily how to create engagement with our sphere of influence, how to create those conversations without coming across as needy or I'm not making enough money and I need you to help me make enough money. It doesn't work that way. So I'm going to give you the script just real quick. By the way, the average person in 30 minutes of dialing using the script, calling only the contact records that were already in their cell phone, generated 3 solid referrals in just 30 minutes of dialing. Now, some achieved 9, 10, 12 referrals in just 30 minutes of dialing, but the average was 3 referrals. So let me give you the script. It's really simple, and I'm sure you could memorize it. Maybe just jot down a couple of words that will help you kind of memorize it. I want you to make it yours and make it your own words in your vernacular, okay? So here's the script, and I'm just going to call it Sean Policino. You ready? We're buddies. You're in my sphere of influence, right? You're not a realtor. You're just a friend. So I'm going to call you up. Hey, Sean, it's Sean Kokoska with the XP. Hey, you got just 2 minutes. Today's call's about business.
Sean, I hate to be a downer, but I've got background noise and I have to keep myself muted.
Oh, you're good.
They're going to close the account.
Well, you don't have to say much, Sean. So go ahead and mute yourself. You're good. So anyway, I'm going to do a just applied introduction, yet I'm going to set the expectation that this is a quick call. It's about business. Do you have just 2 minutes to help me with a challenge? To which you're my friend, so I hope you'd say yes, right, Sean? Of course you'd say yes. So, okay, so listen, Sean, I'm taking a great class. It's designed to really help bolster my real estate sales career so that I can help as many families this year make the move happen as I possibly can. And the instructor has engaged us in a friendly and fun competition. In fact, Sean, I need to get at least 10 referrals in the next month in order to win. And I wanted to reach out to you specifically because people like each other, tend to like each other. And I enjoyed working with you and your family so much that I imagine that you kind of associate yourself with people like you. And I'm just curious, who do you know from work, maybe church or your social circles that's looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate that I should call today? So again, yes, it's a direct ask. I get it. Yet there's a powerful reason behind the ask, which then eliminates the negative thinking about you asking. It canceled it out. So I encourage you to leverage that script. Do it today. Reach out to the people that are closest to you. See, in the Bold room, after the exercise, people would come up to me and I was shocked at some of the things they would say. And then all of a sudden I wasn't shocked because I realized that people are so busy with their own lives. Rarely do they think about our careers. People would come up to me and say, hey, Sean, I just talked to my mother and she sent me 3 solid referrals. Why didn't she just call me? Even our own parents, you guys, are so busy with their own lives, their own challenges, that sadly, they don't think about us all the time, right? So it takes a little bit of a reminder from time to time. Yet I want to go back to sending an e-newsletter. So if I send you an e-newsletter, it gives you all the information. You don't need to have a conversation with me. I totally get it. If I sent the e-newsletter and I followed up with a text to let you know I sent you the e-newsletter to tell you everything that's happening in our local market, yet there's one nuance to what's happening in the market that I really want you to get your mind around. When do you have 5 minutes for a quick conversation? Just follow up with the text. See, the goal is engagement. It is conversation after conversation after conversation. And if you're not creating a minimum of 10 live conversations with at least 2 of those lasting more than 2 minutes in duration, guys, sadly, in 90 days' time, you're going to end up with very few transactions, if any. So 10 conversations a day is what I'm going to encourage you to adhere to form the habit of 10 conversations a day. When you show up to work, you just expect yourself to create 10 conversations. You brought that activity to the point of automaticity. Now, I used to hear that it takes 21 days to form a habit. How many of you guys ever heard that? 21 days to form a habit. Yeah, 3 weeks. Now, I would apply discipline for 3 weeks to an activity. And at the end of 3 weeks, I'd wonder why it's not to the point of automaticity. Now, then I discovered Megan Oaten's work out of the University College of London in Australia. She's done a ton of research for us, as has Charles Duhigg, the author of The Power of Habit. And their research debunks this whole theory that it takes 3 weeks to form a habit. In fact, their research suggests that it takes on average 66 days to form a habit. Just 66 days, that's it, of sustained discipline. Now, anything you do at first, whether it's going to the gym, jogging a mile every day, whatever that is, it's a discipline at first. You guys get this. Now, I uncovered Megan's research, and she had an L-shaped graph. Now, the L-shape, the vertical line, represented the amount of discipline required to sustain an activity. Now, the horizontal line represented the number of days to the point of automaticity. Now, she referenced that when you start a new initiative, that it's 95% discipline and 5% habit. Now, you can imagine the Boeing graph, how this works as it goes from left to right, how it goes downward. The amount of discipline required is diminished day after day after day, and 66 days represented the sweet spot of all of the subjects associated with their groups. On the outside, it took 254 days to form the habit. On the short side, it was 18 days for some of the participants. 66 was the average. So my input to you is to identify an activity that is worth building a habit around, to bring that to conscious awareness, because most people, let's be honest, they form habits subconsciously rather than consciously. And if you get nothing out of this webinar today other than the fact that it's a discipline at first and you have to apply discipline over 66 days, then it becomes a heck of a lot easier. It becomes automatic. It's a habit that you just expect it to happen. So, quick digression. I've shared this story all the time because it's the greatest epiphany of my career in real estate, guys. And I've been doing this for 35 years. See, I met a gentleman. He was the boyfriend of my wife's sister. He's 4 years older than me. And we were going to a movie. I'd never met him before, but I agreed to drive. So I pull up to pick them up. And I'm 17 years old at the time. And my wife and I are going on a date. We decided to double date with her older sister, her sister's new boyfriend. So I pull up to pick this guy up, and this guy comes out of the house. This dude is built, you guys. Like, he's got muscles on muscles on muscles. He's got biceps the size of my thighs. I mean, the dude is just ripped and shredded in every way. I'm 17 years old. I probably weighed 140 pounds at the time. I want to look like him. So I get to know him a little bit. His name's Paul. I said, Paul, how often do you go to the gym? He said, every day. Every day. I said, how long's your workout? At least 2 hours, he says. I looked at him like he was crazy. And this was the epiphany. I said, how do you do that? I'm 17 years old, having a hard time getting to the gym 2-3 times a week. How do you do it every day for 2 hours? And he looked at me like I was crazy. And he just said, just something I do. And I trust you guys get the point. It's just something he does. It's part of his self-image. It's his paradigm. This is who Paul is. This is what Paul does. And Paul's body gets to look the way Paul's body looks. Now, your business is no different. To identify the activities that are worth building a habit around, bring conscious awareness to that. I'm going to post to the chat a 66-day habit tracker for you. I want you to print that off. At the top, there's a blank. It says the habit I choose to create is blank. 10 conversations a day. As I've seen people jump from $1 million in sales volume per year to 20 million in sales volume just by adhering to that one simple strategy of 10 live conversations a day. And I don't care how you do it. You can do it at standing in line at Starbucks. Perfect. In fact, I've got a client on the East Coast. He goes into Starbucks every morning. He gives a barista a nice tip and then gives them a $20 bill and says, listen, I want you to take $1 off every person who comes through this line and tell them it's from me. I'm in real estate. If they have any questions, I'm just sitting over in the corner going through emails. Interrupt me. And at a minimum, they come up and say, hey, thanks for the dollar discount. That's really kind. And he says, well, just pay it forward. Then they always ask him a question. You guys know the question. What is the question that you suppose that they ask him? You're right. I just read your lips, Scott. How's the market? Yep. And how you respond to that really sets the trajectory of that relationship, that conversation. So you could give your opinion. Oh, it's really slow on the upper end. Man, those luxury homes are just sitting. Or, man, it's super hot at the lower end. Anything under 300,000 just flying off the shelves, man, really fast. Or, man, waiting for interest rates to come down. How about you? Guys, that sucks. It doesn't lead to anything other than just a conversation that doesn't add any value to anybody in any way, shape, or form. So rather, I want you to answer their question with another question. My wife always teases me. She says, Sean, why is it that you answer every question with a question? And to which I said, well, why do you need to understand the answer to that? So answer every question with another question. They say, how's the market? You just say, well, that really depends. Are you asking because you're looking to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate? Which is it? See, because your response is going to be totally different if they're looking to invest versus buy or sell versus invest. It's going to be a totally different response. And it's going to be catered to their need. And you're going to be able to set an appointment, ideally take the listing or work the buyer, get them under contract and make the money you deserve to make. And yet, if you just give your opinion, guys, you're dead in the water. Let's be honest. You leave the conversation, I wonder why they were asking. And you don't know. You're dead in the water. So how are we doing so far? Hanging in there? So let me give you, I'm going to pull up a different document here. I want to show you something really kind of cool. It's a planning tool that I put together that I think is going to impress the heck out of you guys, because what we're talking about is getting to about 41 touches per year. That's the number that Dan Stewart and I have landed on, which, by the way, Dan is, in my opinion, the expert, the only expert on the face of this planet as it relates to the type of communication you should be sending to your sphere of influence. He's got a feedback loop that he's been running for the last 15 years. He's managing 12,000 members of his platform called Happy Grasshopper, doing all the communication for them to their sphere of influence and their leads list. 42 million relationships he's been managing for the last 15 years. He knows what works, what doesn't work, and it's all baked into the Built platform. When you plug into Built, you plug into the 12:2 ratio. So that's why I'm asking you guys, go to installbuilt.com. Just put in your email address so that we can notify you what time and where it's going to be at for the presentation of the first session, which is free for Built. I think you owe it to your career, you owe it to your family. Just show up, learn about it. If you love it, then engage and go through steps 2 through 6 with us. Yet you just show up with contacts and you're going to leave with an installed referral engine. It's going to produce a 12:2 ratio, and that's what we're after. Which, by the way, the whole system comes with a full money back guarantee as well, so you have nothing to lose. If I can do one thing today, and that's to get you to show up to May 20th's event, that's my intention, okay? Just to learn about Built and what we can do with you and for you. So the system starts with you getting on a Zoom meeting with one of our staff members. We're going to have you share your screen, and we're going to show you how to download all the contact records from your mobile device, from your email, from your CRM. We then log into your MLS to pull out all sold data. And then we're going to create a massive overall just SOI past client spreadsheet. We're going to dedupe that list, and then we're going to put our bot to work for you, and we're going to flesh out the contact record for that individual. So some of you might have a contact record in your cell phone that just says like first name, seller, and a phone number. Am I right? Well, it's going to take that first name and phone number and it's going to scrape the web. It's going to come back with everything that it can find. You should come back with last name, mailing address, email addresses, social media connection handles, and things of that nature. Then we upload it to the Built platform. You have a clean set of data for your sphere of influence of past clients. Then we teach you the Built platform so that you can install a 41 touch system at a minimum and obtain the 12:2 ratio. And we build it with you, we build it for you, and we show you hands-on, click by click, step by step, screen by screen, how to leverage the platform. Guys, so many times we engage in technology, we pay for it, and then we learn about 10% of how it works, and we think we're proficient. Joshua 4 dubbed this as the OK plateau. We turn on the learning, and we learn just enough to get by, and man, it just flatlines, doesn't it? We shut off the learning. We learn how to use 10% of our CRM's capabilities, and we're good. And yet, if we just learned another 10%, we'd double our production. If we learned another 10%, we'd triple our production. And that's what I want to avoid. That's why Built is an installation system, not a program. It's not training, it's not coaching. You're going to get a lot of training, a lot of coaching, but it is an installation system. So go to installbuilt.com. Check it out. Let me show you what a 41 touch planning system might look like. I'm going to share my screen. So by the way, I think that you should do one social media post every day. We do a 10-1-10 system where it's 10 comments on other people's posts, 10 minutes a day, and one post a day. Now, with our system, you can do a social media post in about 20 seconds. It's really that simple. You copy the copy, you download the image, and you post it to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, LinkedIn, whatever the case is. Yet this is the types of touch. So the modality is on the left margin here. The month goes from left to right. So we think about email. Well, we should probably do that at least once per month. I think you guys would agree with that. So we're going to send an email at least once per month. We recommend once every 3 weeks, by the way. Self-send texts. I'm going to suggest that you do that once per quarter. So we'll start in January. Ringless voicemail. I'm going to do that also once per quarter. Personal phone calls, I'm going to do once per quarter. Social media direct message, I want to do that once per quarter, but I don't want to do it the same month as I'm sending them a text. And I don't want to do it the same month I'm doing a personal phone call, but this ringless voicemail, I think I could double up that month with a direct message and a ringless voicemail. These are automated communication points that literally take 0 time. Pop buys. I think that's a smart thing for an agent to do with the people that are closest to them from their CRM, their sphere of influence, their past clients. So I want to think about weather. I think I'd probably do that. Maybe I'll do it in April because I've got a strategy I want to share with you guys. Did you know that the most celebrated holiday, in fact, let me just ask the question. Type in the chat real quick for me. What do you think is the most celebrated holiday in the United States these days? Is it Hanukkah? Is it Christmas? Is it Thanksgiving? I mean, what do you think is the most celebrated holiday? Let's see what you guys had to say. July 4th, Independence Day. Pretty good guess. Mother's Day, absolutely. Thanksgiving. Great guesses. I love it. Which, by the way, I think these are all touch points for your sphere of influence. These are people that you're in a relationship with. You should remember them on special days, no doubt. Yet the most celebrated holiday in the United States today, no kidding, look it up, in terms of money spent and engagement, it's Halloween. That shocked me when I learned that. I thought, how is it that Halloween is trumping Christmas and Hanukkah? How is that even possible? But it does. Or even Thanksgiving or Mother's Day. Bottom line, Halloween is a very popular holiday in the US. So in April, I want to do a pop by where I'm going to deliver pumpkin seeds, the growing kind that they can plant, that will germinate, that will sprout, that will produce a pumpkin. I'm going to deliver that in April because they should be planted by May 1st. Now would be the time to do this strategy. Now think about this. How many times do they think about you from April to October when they harvest the pumpkin? Every time they water it, they're thinking about you when you do this pop by. So I would encourage another pop by in October to see their garden, take pictures with them and their pumpkin, post it to social. Of course, you're posting to social all the time about your pumpkin growing contest, and you're sending out seeds to everybody within your sphere of influence. But they're thinking about you in April, May, June, July, August, September, and October, where you announce the winner. It's the heaviest pumpkin, so bring a scale with you when you go do the pop by. Weigh their pumpkin. You're going to announce the winner. Do it live on Facebook. Okay, blast it all over social channels. I'd also do another pop by maybe in November. Costco sells those pies that you can give away to your sphere of influence. Maybe it's just your top 20, your top 10, but I'm going to do another pop by in November, and I'm going to deliver a pumpkin pie or an apple pie. I think it makes sense. Handwritten cards. Ooh, this is good. I'm going to send one handwritten card to everybody in my sphere of influence as part of this campaign. And I'm going to do it, I'm actually going to do it at the end of March because I want to send an April Fool's Day card. Okay. Now, why do you think I would send an April Fool's Day card instead of a holiday card? Talk to me. When's the last time you got an April Fool's Day card? Be honest. Never. See, I want to be different. You're exactly right. Scott, you typed it out. It stands out. It gives you a major point of differentiation amongst all of the other agents in your market area. Nobody else is doing that. I guarantee it. Client appreciation events. I may want to do like a real estate investor webinar. I'll do that on in May. In fact, heck, I might even want to do that twice a year. So I'll do that in May and then again in September, where I get a group of other professionals from my market area, 7 industry types, where I go out and I engage with a financial planner, a CPA, an attorney, a 1031 exchange specialist, a PNC insurance agent, a property manager, a mortgage loan originator. Guys, that's 7 different industries. And I'm going to engage them in a host-parasite relationship. I know that sounds disgusting. What it means is that I get indirect access to their database because I'm going to provide them with a ghostwritten email and social media post campaign to promote the webinar that they're going to be given the spotlight for 10 minutes to present from their industry's perspective on how to invest in real estate. So think about this. Your CPA is going to talk about depreciating the asset. Your property manager is going to teach them how to vet potential candidates, how to do background checks, pull credit reports. What are you looking for in a tenant? The insurance agents can tell them what type of policy they should engage in. The attorney is going to talk to them about a single purpose entity to or vehicle to house the asset so that it can reduce liability. Your 1031 exchange specialist can tell them how to leverage the property up, how to eliminate capital gains and reinvest to get more wake-up money. Your LO talks to them, how do they get access to the dormant equity that's in their primary residence? Put that money to work for them. It's not doing a damn bit of good stuck inside the walls. Let's leverage that capital as down payment for an income-producing property. Guys, I had people that were cashing in their 401ks after hearing my financial planner talk about rolling over their 401k into a self-directed IRA, non-taxable event to invest that money in real estate. I had people with over $1 million in their 401k. They converted over to a self-directed IRA, put $1 million down on a $3 million 20-unit apartment building purchase, multifamily. This is a great way to get people to self-identify. They're in the market to invest. And you'd be shocked to realize how many people that are living inside your sphere of influence that would, in fact, invest in real estate. They just don't want to make a mistake. They're terrified. They don't know how to do it. So when you bring an educationally based customer appreciation event to them, how to invest in real estate, and you bring a team of cadre members that are going to present for you from their industry's perspective, then you have an evaluation form at the end that asks all the qualifying questions. You'll be able to segment that list down to the 10 or 12 that are ready to buy right now. As the first time I did this, I put all the weight squarely on my own shoulders. I promoted to my database, and it was the Sean Kokoska Talking Head Show for 2 hours. Now, I placed 8 properties under contract within the next 30 days with an average sales price of $832,000 when my average sales price back in the 90s in Denver, Colorado was about $135,000. So I 6X'd my average sales price dealing with buyers that were not emotional buyers. It was about the deal. It was about the numbers. So much smoother. I made over $100,000 after the first time I did this within 30 days. And you can do exactly the same thing. In fact, I've got that whole system completely transcribed. Here's what I'll ask you to do. I just want you to send me an email, and that's Sean@iconcoaching.com. If that resonated with you, if you think that you would like to promote a real estate investor webinar with the assistance of 7 other promotion partners. And let me tell you the real benefit in doing it the way that I'm talking about. So you get to invite everybody in your own personal sphere of influence. Like, Scott, I know you have over 10,000 people in your database. You can invite all 10,000. You get a couple of hundred people to show up to a live webinar. That's great. You could also then invite 7 other people to be promotion partners with you. They're inviting their own respective database of 2,000 or 3,000 people each. 7 times 2,000, that's another 14,000 that you're inviting. And the point is, when your attorney invites the people from their database, let's say they register and they show up. Why do they register and show up? It's because of the relationship they have with their attorney. They trust their attorney. Now, if they show up to this webinar, guess what? They automatically trust you because you're perceived to be in business with the attorney. You're borrowing the relational equity. It just makes sense. So if you want a lead generation system that's going to continue to spin off motivated buyers to you, send me an email, sean@iconcoaching.com. In that email, just request my real estate investor webinar in a box. I will send it back over to you. It is literally just step by step, click by click, what to do, how to do it. And guys, you can launch this within the next 30 days with a live event and generate a massive set of investor leads that are motivated and ready to go. Ha, it's a powerful strategy, no doubt about that. Now you can see there's 34 touches, and you can see that the confetti drops when you hit 33. That is the minimum, in my opinion. Okay, anything in addition to that, I'd encourage you to stay below 50 because you can over communicate with your sphere of influence. Yet 41 seems to be a pretty darn good number. It breaks it down month by month, what you would be doing, what you'd be sending. This becomes the roadmap. At the same time, we want to engage in some other touches. Let me do this. I made some modifications to this format. So let me just jump in here real quick. I just opened up the wrong HTML, guys. I apologize. Just going to do this quickly. Boy, planning your sphere of influence contacts were this easy, right? Man, wouldn't that be amazing? Let's do one in March. Maybe let's go ahead and add one to October, just to announce the holidays coming up. Client appreciation events. We talked about doing a couple of those. Maybe I'll do something around the holidays too. So I'm at 36 touches, 12 are automated, 16 personal touches, covers all 12 months. You can see my calendar of events here. Then I want to talk about milestone touches. So what would you do for a home purchase anniversary? And I want you to think about this stuff, guys. This is where the relationship deepens. This is where the referrals start coming, is when you remember their home purchase anniversary date. Now, for every one of your past clients, when you engage in Built, you're going to have all that data already baked into the platform because we log into your MLS to extract all of that data. So what do you want to do with them? I would encourage you to do a ringless voicemail drop, perhaps a text message. And it's kind of a big deal, maybe a handwritten card. They cost about $3.30, but they are literally written by a computer. There's dents in the back of the card because it's done with a ballpoint pen. It looks like you hand wrote it. Makes total sense. Birthdays are a real big deal in my family. I trust they are in yours as well. So maybe I want to do a ringless voicemail drop. I might even do a handwritten card. Probably a direct message. Let's do that. Wedding anniversary. I'm going to send a text message, a personal phone call to the man a couple of days before. Hey, am I the first one to wish you a happy wedding anniversary? I know it's coming up in a couple of days. I'm not going to say, hey, just in case you forgot. No, I'm just going to say, I know it's coming up in a couple of days, man. I just was thinking about you guys. How many years is it? Oh, that's fantastic. What are you going to do? Any big plans? Right on. Well, obviously, I am just blessed with all of my friends, my family members, people who truly care about me, keeping me busy all the time. Just let me know if there's anything I can do to help you guys out. You have a wonderful anniversary. Talk to you soon. All right. So what does that break down to? That would be 44 touches in total. And then I'm just going to generate my campaign report, and it's going to show me exactly what touches, when it's going to be, what I'm going to do for those milestone touches. And this is the plan that I'm going to follow that's going to get me the 12 to 2. Now, the difference maker is going to be in the content. I think you guys would agree with that. Don't send a generic broadcast. You don't want to send a lead of yours the same email that you send to somebody in your sphere of influence. Guys, that's how you burn through your list. That's when they become disillusioned, that they don't feel special anymore. They feel more like a number, and they're less likely to refer you. So by communicating with them, you could actually upset them. We don't want to do that. We want to make certain that these touch points are on purpose and they're specifically designed to elevate you and deepen the relationship. You guys with me on this? So what I want out of each and every one of you is just a firm commitment to your sphere of influence, your past clients. That's the one thing that's going to cut through all the noise, that's going to keep you relevant for years and years to come with this ever-changing world, with the technology. I'm doing things that would have taken me 10 weeks in 10 minutes with tech, you guys. I mean, this is nuts. What Claude is doing, following my prompts, and oh my, I can build a whole slide deck for a presentation in 5 minutes, where it used to take me several days to put things like that together. It's amazing how fast the content is coming at people. And I just can't say it loud enough. The only thing that's going to cut through that is the relationship. Don't be that agent who says, I can't believe I have to do this listing presentation on Friday night. Really, go cry in your big bag of money. If you can afford to send your kids to private school, if you can afford to drive the car around town that you drive and put gas in it, it's because of one thing, and it's because of your clients. And I want you to remember that when they call you at Friday night at 10 o'clock, remember that everything that you have, it's because of a relationship. Just really, when you boil it all down, every move I've ever made in business has been lucrative. It's because of a relationship. Take the relationships as seriously as you possibly can. And Built is going to help you nurture those relationships, deepen the relationships, and exceed the 12-to-2 ratio. So, guys, go to installbuilt.com. Put your email address there. We'll notify you. Show up to the free first session. Learn about it. If it resonates with you, if it connects with you, sign up and engage. All right. And just spend 6 weeks with me. We'll change your business. All right. That's all I've got for you guys today. It's more of a call to action webinar, isn't it? So the call to action is go to the first step. Now I'm just open it up to some general Q&A. And I don't care if it's related to sphere of influence or past clients or the subject matter at hand. I don't care what it is. Let's just have a conversation. I got a few extra minutes for you guys. Now, what is Mick saying to you right now? Oh, don't ask him that question, John. You might look stupid. See, Mick wants to keep you comfortable. You guys get this. Stay inside your little comfort bubble. Don't risk your ego, Mick says. Yet the more you risk your ego, the bigger your bank account balance becomes. So who's willing to come up with an agenda item that you want to discuss and understand more about? Nobody. I'm shocked. All right. Well, Mick wins this one, I guess, right? So, guys, I've been doing this for 35 years. I've helped individuals achieve amazing results, like Mark Spain, over 8,000 transactions last year. You guys, that doesn't happen by accident. It happens on purpose. And if you want more purpose in your world, engage in Built, I'm telling you. And by the way, I'm always available for a free coaching session with you guys. There's no pressure. There's no close. It's not smoke and mirrors. If you'd like to have a conversation in a free coaching call, and I mean a free coaching call where we're talking about the most important thing, that's you, your business, you've got my email address there, just sean@iconcoaching.com. I'll put it in there one more time for those of you who just joined. Send me an email and just request a little time with me. That's it. No close, no pitch, nothing other than you and some strategy that's going to help you get more traction. Okay. We're going to solve at least one problem during a free coaching call. I promise you that. All right, guys, I'm going to let you get on with your busy days. Thank you so much for showing up. Thanks for being here. And I look forward to seeing you at the first session of Built. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for pouring into everybody.
You got it. Mr. Policino, great to see you, brother. Talk soon.
Yeah, appreciate you, John, always.
Bye.
Sean, take it
Right back to
easy.
you
I
guys.
appreciate you. All right.
You got it, Randall.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Take care, guys.